Alrighty, I think this is everyone, hopefully. We'll give people another 10 seconds, but if they want to join, they can join us. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Callum. I'm a Senior Developer Experience Advocate at DBT Labs, and you're joining us all today for Data as a Product, how DBT powers Slido's data API. So we're going to be joined by Shona, Mikal, who also goes by Cookie, and Hubert, and they're going to walk us through their presentation. If you have any questions during the presentation, please go to the Coalesce Data as a Product channel on Slack and interact there. We will have chat champions who will be pinning questions, and then the speakers will be staying around for about an hour, maybe 2 hours afterwards, answering all of the questions that you might have. With that being said, let's give it up for them.
Hi, hi. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well this afternoon. There's a lot of you, which is a bit scary, but we'll go. Thanks, Callum, for the intro. As you said, we will be talking to you about data as a product and how we've used DBT to power our data API. Let me get my little clicker. Let me get my little... Where am I pointing? Clicker. Clicker. Green. Oh, with the mouse.
Where is it?
You've already done this morning, so.
Is that? Try now.
Yay! Wait. Okay. Okay, guys, we're going to start off with a quick poll. If you scan the QR code in the top left or go to slido.com and enter the meeting code dataAPI, you will get a choice of questions. And the question is, which of these best describes Slido? Is it the rebrand of Google Slides? Is it the industry-leading interaction platform for all types of meetings? Is it a transformation workflow that lets teams quickly and collaboratively deploy analytics code? Or is it the sound children make when they go down a long slide? And apologies to the people who are joining us online. We value you very much, but there is a slight delay, so maybe we won't see you in the results, but you'll be felt in our hearts. Okay, a couple more seconds. 16 votes in. Let's see if we can get some more. There's way more than 16 people in here. I can definitely feel there's way more than 60 people in here, so keep voting. A couple of seconds. Okay, let's do it. Oh, man. Oh, well done. 59% of people are correct. Slido is indeed the industry-leading interaction platform for all types of meetings. Close second, the sound children make when they go down the slide. Yeah, good one, but actually it's technically spelt with a few more O's at the end, so it says Slido. Okay, now you know who we are. This is officially who we are. We are Slido. We give a voice to your audience by polls, by Q&A, and basically it's just a way for your audience to interact with you. Usually Q&A we do on Slido, but today we're in the Slack channel, so please ask your questions there. We will answer you. Shweta is online to answer any questions that you have. Great, so let's get into it. Introductions before we get into it. Let me hand over.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mikal, or also a lot of people call me Cookie, and I'm the head of analytics engineering at Slido. I've been around for more than 5 years already in Slido. So it's been a while, and also we would say something fun. So I would say my favorite SQL function. All right, I'll say histogram. It's not really well known, but it's pretty nifty. So give it a try if you have it in your flavor of SQL. Hubert.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Hubert. I've been at Slido for about 8 months. Same team as Cookie, and I had a fun fact, but I just realized it's not funny, so I think we can just skip it.
That was funny. Well done. Hi, everyone. I'm Shona. I'm also an analytics engineer. I've been at Slido since February, I think. My favorite SQL function is rank over. I see some nods. Good. Okay. Damn this clicker. Yes, okay. So we are here to tell you a story about a project that we've been working on in Slido. To help me on my storytelling journey, I'm going to enlist the help of 2 protagonists and then one that's kind of obvious. Let me, without further ado, hand over to, now he's ready, the first of our 3 protagonists.
So I'm the corporate guy. I'm actually the biggest client of Slido, and I'm pretty hard on what I need from them when it comes to data. You know, I love using Slido for all hands and get some of the data, but honestly, how it works right now, I don't like it much. And I think I'm not going to renew if it's not getting any better.
I'm a Slido guy. I represent all the employees of Slido. And one day, I will conquer the world with data. And this t-shirt is showing us, by the way.
And I unimaginatively am the analytics engineer. For those of you who can't read, or those of you who are on video, this actually says DBT run. I hope I'm wearing it the right way around. I am an analytics engineer. I guess most of you know what that is. If you don't, go to dbt.com and you'll find out what it is there. Okay, so let's talk about what actually the project was about. So I was having a bunch of conversations with people, with Corp Guy, with Slido Guy, and it seemed like there was a lot of problems. People had use cases that they didn't have a solution to, and they needed stuff done. I was going to say something else then. They needed to get stuff done, but there just wasn't a solution. So I decided to get a bit into the nitty-gritty of what it was they were actually looking for and find out what the requirements were exactly. So let's hear about that first, and then I'll tell you about what we decided to do to fix.
Me, as the corporate guy, I have 3 things that I want from Slido data. First, I want it to be programmable. Second, I want it to be compliant. And the third one, I want it to be simple. Now, why is that? Programmable means that I really hate manual work, and especially when it comes to our team. I really wanted to make it automatic and without any further manual needs. When it comes to compliance, you know, we as a huge corporation, we really need to make sure that we are aligned with all these compliance policies, such as GDPR or data archival. And the last but not least is the third one, simple. You know, I have my data analytics engineers working with data, but you know, if it gets too complex or too complicated, the time to value, time to insight is super long, and I don't really like that.
All right, as a Slido guy, I want to build cool data features in the product. And for that, I need to be self-managed, as in, and I need to be easy to implement in the product, and I need to be scalable. So first, self-managed, you can imagine we have some data-driven, powered features like sentiment analysis in the product or like grouping of questions in categories. But it's really difficult to improve them or to build new ones because we're very dependent on all kinds of different teams within Slido, and we'd like to move that ownership to one team as much as possible. Easy to implement would be like to just produce everything into a very easy way for the product team to just grab it and put it in the product. And the last thing, scalable, would be to just be able to build cool machine learning models, generate as much data as needed, and so on, to just do cool stuff.
Okay, so now you see, these are conversations that I was having with people. They were saying they need this stuff, but they don't have it, and they want someone to fix it, and guess who's going to be the one fixing it? It's me. So we have our requirements. Let's take a look at what the situation currently looks like. So on the left-hand side, we have our sources. On the middle block, we have the data warehouse, and on the right-hand side, we have the resources, and that finally end up with the clients. And there's 2 blocks if you look at it horizontally. So the top block is for internal clients, so that's Slido Guy, including data science, marketing, operations, customer support, all different kinds of people within the team. And in the bottom block is external clients. So they are the people that use Slido, the people who want to get insights on their data, understand how people are using the tool, and yeah, all their compliance and all that kind of stuff. So let's take a look, let's take a bit of a deep dive into the top block. So you can see there that the DBT line is kind of in our data warehouse. So that indicates that we're using DBT to power our internal Slido project. However, once we've kind of like cleaned up all the tables, made some nice materialized views, we send the data out into the world where various people in the organization use Python, or they use SageMaker, or they use Lambdas to do some cool stuff. And then it goes into this black box before finally ending up with the final clients. Now, what is a black box? You guys are probably wondering. The black box, depending on the use case, can be all sorts of different things. So it can be people in product who are following it back into the product to, as Hubert says, to make some data-powered products within the features within the product, sorry. It can be, for example, marketing teams who are using data from our tables to fuel their marketing campaigns. It can be people in customer support who are using data to help their clients improve their performance with Slido or to just get some insights. So it's all sorts of different things. And basically what we're showing here is that in the black box, there's a bunch of different stuff happening. We don't necessarily, me, data team, analytics engineering, don't necessarily have a great view on what's going on there. I don't have any power over how that's being used, but it just goes into the black box and ships out eventually to the rest of our internal clients. And in the bottom box, this is like a very sad state of affairs. There is some data coming in, something happens to it, then there's a click to download, and then there's a CSV, which is like the worst. I don't know what's going on in the click to download before it gets clicked to download. I don't know what the code looks like. I didn't write the code, no idea. They get something at the end. CSV, I mean, it's bad. So this is what it currently looks like. And I was thinking, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to fix this? What's a good idea for the solution here? And I decided that what we need to do is to build a platform, a single data platform where I can service everyone's needs, where everyone's needs can be serviced, and just it's all automated, it's all nice, great, let's do it. And the data platform would be powered, me and this clicker, man. The data platform will be powered by an API, and if there's anyone out there who isn't sure what an API is, which I'm not entirely sure there is anyone who doesn't know what it is, but we'll go for it anyway. An API is a collection of resources that basically allows you to access data resources, data management things. That was a terrible definition. I just guess you all know what it means, it's fine. Okay, so I was talking a lot about the data API. We're going to build a data API, it's going to fuel the platform, who's going to build the data API, when are we going to build the data API? And I keep saying data API, but really then it started to merge, and I just was thinking about pies, and I was like, okay, pie. And then I was like, I've got it. The first step on my journey in this amazing project is to get a killer name, dataAPI. The new data platform is going to be called dataAPI, get everyone on board with a good name, and at least then we've got some momentum. Okay, so I have a ripper name. How's it actually going to work? My first thought, traditional approach. I'm going to call this guy. And this guy is a software developer. And this is how APIs are usually built. So I sit down in a meeting room with this guy and I say, hey, we have this problem. I need you to build an API, service our clients. Everyone's going to be happy. But it just didn't sit right. There was something that I wasn't feeling good about in this solution. And there's the three, what are they? Bubbles, squares, whatever. At the bottom will tell you why those things didn't sit right with me. So I got the kind of impression that the software developer, as great a guy as he is, was a bit far away from the business problems that our clients were facing. Not only our internal clients, but also our external clients. I was also a bit worried about the code. So what we're building here is a data product. And my expectation as an analytics engineer is that the data product is built within data team best practices. So what I'm expecting to look at when I see a data product is beautiful code that aligns with all the other code that we've written in the rest of the team and that I can read and I can understand and I can edit and I can play with whatever. But I'm not entirely sure if that's what I'm going to get if I have someone who's not in the data team building such a product. And there's also high maintenance costs. So what I mean by this is that there would have to be a lot of collaboration in the first place between me and the software developer to, first of all, ensure that the right business logic is in there, is to try and see if he can make his code look a bit more like mine. And also, throughout the whole process, I'd kind of have to be keeping my eye like over his shoulder, making sure everything's going okay, and it would just be a bit of a nightmare. What's more, in the future, if we decide that we want to add something or change something or some of the logic changes or whatever, then we have to call him back in, and it's not really a nice kind of seamless process. So it didn't really sit right with me. I spent quite a lot of time mulling over it in the meeting room by myself, when suddenly, this was literally me. There is a better way. I know someone who can build all the who can do all the things I want and build it in a way exactly how I want it to. Any guesses who? It's me! I'm going to build it myself. I already know how to use dbt. We're using it to great success already. It works. We have all the testing, all the documentation, all the tools. Right, this is it. I'm going to build a solution for internal and external clients myself. It's going to be aligned with all the data team practices, and it's going to be great. So this is the Slido solution featuring dbt. So as you can see here, now we only have one block as opposed to 2 blocks for internal and external clients. And dbt in the middle in our data warehouse is powering the whole ecosystem. So everything that we create for our internal clients has also been created for our external clients. The internal clients still are able to use their Python and their Lambdas and their SageMakers and all sorts of other delicious things on top of our tables, which then funnels it to dataAPI, so no more black box. I know exactly where it's going before it heads off to the final consumer. And external clients, this is probably my favorite bit. There's no more CSVs. There's no more click to download. You just plug it in and you're off. Oh. Okay, so if we look a little bit more into the Slido solution and see exactly what that means. So in our solution, the analytics engineer, i.e. me, here's my hat, have been empowered to be a product builder. I've never really been a product builder before. You know, I've never built product for an external client, but now I'm enabled to do so. The solution is entirely nested within the data team. We're able to leverage the existing toolset and knowledge that we have gained from building a dbt project already. The code is consistent between external and external clients, and I'm able to keep a very close eye on business needs. And these are some of the extra lovely benefits that we get along with using dbt. Much of this, I guess, you're already aware of. So tried and tested modeling, integrated documentation and testing, tooling compatibility. It's open source, so if we feel like we missed something, we can just build it. Deep understanding of business needs, both internal and external, since I said a bit closer to the business. And this is a cool one. So there's potential for cross-company collaboration, analytics engineer to analytics engineer. So when we ship this to our final clients, our external clients, if Corp guy's analytics engineer doesn't get it, instead of kind of going via to a software engineer, to someone else, to the product owner, to the data team manager, to whatever, whoever, we can just, you know, analytics engineer to analytics engineer, which is pretty nifty. Let's...
Yes.
So these are your requirements that we saw earlier. How does the solution fit in?
It sounds amazing. When I think about it, I had like 3 thoughts, right? I want it to be programmable, I want it to be compliant, I want it to be simple. And from what you described, it seems that programmable would be definitely the solution, right? It's API, you can directly connect to it. We just set it up once, it works forever. Unless you change the API. But in general, yes. So like normal manual work. That's amazing. Then the other one, it's compliancy. And I know I already checked with our lawyers, and they looked into how you actually implemented it. And it looks like there's a really good potential. You're already looking into solutions, how you implement other vendors to make sure that this GDPR compliancy and also the data archival happens. So works for me. And the last one, it's amazing. Simple, clear documentation that our analysts can just come in. And if there's any problem, it's analyst to analyst or analytics engineer to analytics engineer, and get the insights straight away.
No more click to download.
I'm in love.
No more CSVs.
Exactly.
Exactly. And that's why we're all here.
Yeah, from my perspective, it also ticks all the 3 boxes, obviously. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. But yeah, like it is self-managed. There's no dependency on other teams. It's all within the data team. It is easy to implement. It's an API, so we built the final product, final data feature basically in the API. And then the product team can just call the API and just show it to the user. And it is scalable. It's within the data team. We can do whatever we want. We can run any service we want. We can spin up a cluster. So it's great. And maybe I can give an example of a feature that we tried to build in product recently. So we had this idea to ask our new users when they sign up how they're going to use the product. And the idea was that based on what they tell us, we can then give them some recommendation how they can use it that best fits their needs. So we started building it, the product team started building it. On the data side, we were ready to build some kind of recommender system for it. But then we found out that there's actually no way for the product team to put it in the product because they didn't have an API developer, they didn't really have the resources to do it, they didn't expect that to spend that time on it. So in the end, basically, they just thought of some, let's say, templates that they thought that would be useful for the product, and they just hard-coded it in the product as they were. And yeah, it didn't work out well. I mean, the feedback we got from our users was that it was not that personal.
But now, with dataAPI, it will be much more flexible and personalized, which is what we want. Okay, so how's it going? After the adventure of, well, everything that you've just seen, let's actually hear about what's going on. So we've had a few wins so far. The first iteration of the data structure and the documentation has been completely done, obviously within dbt. It's been released for integration with our first third-party vendor. Sounds a bit complicated, let me explain. So usually what happens with these big corporations, Corp guy will have all these requirements. He doesn't really know how to be GDPR compliant, / it's like very complicated and all sorts of mess that unless you're a professional in that field, you maybe don't want to get into. So they enlist the help of these third-party vendors who manage risk and compliance, and those are the people that we've integrated with. So we're integrated with the compliance and risk management company. And we think that we've potentially discovered a new paradigm for dbt usage. We don't know, or, oh, there's something kicking off back there. What was I saying? API. APIs aren't necessarily something people think about when they think of dbt, and we hope that this has been interesting to you guys. Maybe it has sparked some thoughts or ideas on how you can use how you can use dbt a little bit differently. But yeah, it's certainly working for us. So hopefully, yeah, you guys will like the idea. There's still a bit of a way to go. So we need to finalize integration with compliance and archiving. So actually, the step that's remaining currently is trying to figure out how to find a UI solution for the documentation. So we've built all the documentation in YAML files, but now we're trying to figure out how to cherry pick just the right lines, let's say, out of the files and put them in something pretty for the end user. We need to launch it to our internal clients so that it can finally be used in the product. And promote to external clients. So once the integration has been finished with a compliance and security company, we will go to Corp Guy and say, hey, don't run away with your big bags of money, stay with Slido, renew, we've got all this cool stuff, you can do reporting and you're compliant, and don't leave us. So that was it. Feel free to jump back on Slido, either at slido.com with the event tag dataAPI, or scan the QR code to let us know what you think. But otherwise, thank you very much.
Let's give them all a round of applause again, because they did a really good job. All right, if there are any open questions, please go to the Coalesce, oh, not that one, the other one, the original one, Data as a Product. Please go to that. There are a couple of pinned questions there that the speakers will be going in and addressing. If there are any open ones, please let us know. And if you'd like to join us in probably about 20 minutes now, there will be another talk called More Metadata, Less Problems in this same room. Thank you so much for everyone in person and joining us online. I hope you have a wonderful day.